Hello and welcome. I'm Mikhail Vaswani. You're watching Cricket and More, and we've enjoyed bringing you this coverage of the fourth test at Oval, and we'll continue to do so as we look into day three of the Oval test, where the Indian batsmen will now have the task and responsibility of going out there and putting the runs on the board. Remember, they have the time, but can they deliver? From the start of it, it has looked good with Rohit and Rahul actually stitching a very vital partnership at stumps on day two. Before we proceed any further, as always, we need to remind all of viewers that on the show we have a very special personality, a special guest, a voice that resonates with Indian cricket. Mr. Shastri will be joining us, giving us his views on day two and also talking about plans on day three as well. Trust me, you don't want to miss this because this is Mr. Shastri with a twist. We are only 2 days into this test match, and there is so much that has happened. It looks like this test match has been on and on. 20 wickets have already fallen, 10 of each side, but it is the Indian bowling that has stood up and given India that much needed hope and chance to make a comeback into this test match. At 52 for 3, it looked like England were in a spot of bother, and yes, they were in a spot of bother. That's because Umesh Yadav had come into the side with different plans. After getting the wicket of Joe Root, he ensured he carried on the good work and also got the night watchman Craig Overton for just one run, which meant that at that point, England were 53 for 4 on the morning of day two. And this is where India began to capitalize. More importantly, he also got the wicket of David Malan. And this meant that England were reduced to 62 for 5. It is at this point, where I felt India should have tightened the noose around England and not let them off the hook. However, in every innings or in every match or in every test match, there has to be partnerships. And there came one partnership that really propelled England in this particular innings of theirs. Oli Pop, with his 81, was instrumental in holding the England innings together, and Bairstow chipping in with 37, Moeen Ali throwing his wicket at 35, and Chris Woakes, 4 wickets when he was bowling and 50 runs with the bat as well, proved his utility. At the start of day one, I did mention that Chris Woakes as an addition will be very, very vital, and he has done well for England in the past. And his inclusion will add a lot of stability and mettle as well in the England innings, and exactly what he provided them. This meant that England crawled to 290 in their first innings, giving them a slender lead of 99 runs. But we have to give credit to a few players over here. For England, Oli Pop, I felt, played a very fine innings to show that he is actually made for the big stage, and he's the one to watch out for. He's an Oval boy, so he would have enjoyed this outing. Chris Woakes, so far in this test match, has proved how much of a utility factor he can be for the England side. Johnny Bairstow as well looked good. But in all of this, we also have to mention a particular incident that needs attention at this point in time. Yes, it is that fan that we are talking about, Jarvo 69. Well, he is creating a little bit of an issue, and each time he runs onto the field, that security breach is actually hampering the entire play and the process as well. These are not good signs. And even though he's been arrested right now by the Oval Police, it is important for the ICC to look into situations like this, because if you have a man running into the ground for the third time, and this time he also collided into Johnny Bairstow, clearly talks about security breaches, and it is not a good sign in these times of the cricket that is being played worldwide as well. All right, this was one subject that we thought we bring it to you. But of course, on the field, it was a decent batting display, but credit to Umesh Yadav, who's making a comeback into the test side. He got 3 for 76. He was most impressive. Ravindra Jadeja was given the ball, and he also did well to wrap up the tail. He got the big wicket of Moeen Ali, and then also finished off Robinson, finishing with 2 for 36, and Shardul Thakur getting the big wicket of Oli Pop. So all of that really playing well for India. Now, the big question is, when we go into day three, can the Indian batsmen pile on the runs? It is over to the Indian batsmen. Rahul and Rohit have looked very good so far in that brief partnership of theirs. 20 for Rohit, 22 for Rahul. They've stitched 43 runs already, and now the deficit is only 56 runs. There is enough and more time in the test match. 3 days. We have to win the sessions. And that's why it's important that we get the runs on the board and bat England out of the competition and have enough time to bowl them out as well. Just the right time to also involve a very fine personality who minces no words when it comes to talking about his team's plans, preparations, and how they are working towards results as well. We had him on day one, we had him on day two, and on day three as well. Mr. Shastri will be joining us. Mr. Shastri, thank you again for your time. An absolute delight each time you come on screen and give us that perspective of yours. But first things first, if I have to ask you a pretty straightforward question at this point in time. You did mention yesterday that you don't want to see your boys after tea, and exactly what happened?
Well, it happened, but we allowed them to play a few extra overs even after tea. We had them at 62 for 5 and we had them on the mat, but we could not seize the opportunity. We could have easily been on the driver's seat at the moment. So I have to talk with Virat and the boys that how can we tackle the situation better in the second innings. I think we want to wipe off the deficit as quickly as possible. At this stage, I think England should be ahead, but I think we can come back very strongly on day 3.
Oh yes, that's the plan. It's looking good at the moment with Rohit and Rahul stitching a very good partnership, an unbeaten one for the opening partnership. But one question, we've had a problem in the past and it seems to be plaguing India over a period of time. Polishing off the tail, wiping the tail off. Once again, we conceded a lot of runs towards the end.
Yes, it happened again, but I think you have to give credit to Chris Woakes as well. That was a terrific innings, and I think he's hurting us both with the bat and the ball. He did that with the ball, and now he has done that with the bat as well. So I think we have to give credit to him. But yes, this is one of the areas that we have to improve if we have to become a champion team. And I think we'll discuss that even after the test match.
Mr. Shastri, only 2 days into the test match, and it looks like this game has been on, this match has been on forever. There's so much that's happened. Every day has been an event, every ball has been an event over here. How would you like to describe India's chances going into the next 3 days?
I think it depends upon how well we bat. I think day 3 is going to be very important. I think the openers have given India a good start, and now it's important for them, to post a reasonable total. I think partnerships is going to be key for this Indian innings at the moment here. I think we've seen how one good partnership can change the complexion of the game. And I think if we can stitch partnerships, I think, and can post a reasonable total, I think then put England under pressure. But I think for that to happen, I think we have to bat the entire day 3 and possibly sometime on day 4 as well, and so that Jadeja can come into play on day 5 for us.
Would I be asking a too sensitive question if I add saying that our Ashwin would have come in handy on day 5 towards the end of day 4?
Well, we have to wait and watch. I think if the match ends on day 4, I think then probably will not miss Ashwin too much. But I think, yes, if it goes till day 5, and I think if the pitch turns, like I said yesterday, I think we have to accept the fact that we take decisions. Some decisions might go well, some might not. But I think we have to move on and look forward.
A word on Umesh Yadav. He's made a very fine comeback, bowled with a lot of fire, and has been very hostile as well. You must be impressed with his fitness as well.
Yes, I think he has been playing after a long time, and I think he's done well. And so I think we talked about that four fast bowling combination. I think Shardul, if he can contribute with the ball in the second innings, I think we are fine with that. But I think at this stage, it's important for us to post a reasonable total. I think Umesh, has done well. I think I'm hoping that he continues in that in the second innings as well.
Yeah, just looking at the conditions towards the end of day 2 when India came out to bat, did it give you an impression that the pitch has eased off, the conditions are looking better for batting now?
Well, I think we have to take every session, with equal importance. I think when Shardul was batting on day 1, and I think it was looking at batting was easy, wasn't it? So I think we can't be complacent. I think we have to be focused for all the sessions that is remaining in this test match, because we have seen the test match can change very quickly. I think one good session and one bad session, can decide the fate of this game. So I think we have to ensure that we are focused on all the sessions. We do not give England the edge because we are behind. I think the first focus will be to wipe out this deficit and then look for a reasonable total. I think so. I think we have to be very focused on our job. The batsmen know what they need to do. I think I will send a message to the batsmen that do not throw your wickets. Make them work hard to get your wickets. And if you get a pitch of a delivery, a great one, it's fine. But I think I do not want to see to come back in the dressing room by just throwing out wickets.
One final question before we let you go. It's been quite a talk on social media as well about the pitch invader, the pitch intruder, Jarvo 69. This is the third time he's actually breaching security and running onto the ground. In fact, yesterday he even collided with Johnny Bairstow. Something that's a concern, and the ICC needs to look into it.
Yes, I think it's a matter of concern, but I think we do not have anything under our control. It's a matter that the ICC needs to look into it. But I think as long as it is creating distraction only for the English players, I'm fine with it. I think he is acting as a 12th player for us, so it's fine. But you're right. I think these are the things that the security team needs to look into it with more seriousness.
Mr. Shastri, and finally, looking at the way things have panned out on the final session of day 2, would it be fair to say it's advantage India going into day 3?
Well, I will not say that. I think I still feel that England are still ahead. I think they're 56 runs ahead. So that means we have to wipe up that deficit as quickly as possible. Now, if you can wipe up that deficit and then post a reasonable lead, then England will start feeling the pressure. I think at this stage, I still feel England are ahead. But this team has shown the character to come back from behind in the past. So I do not see any reason we cannot do that again. I think I'm very much hopeful that we can put up a good show on day 3 and day 4 and win this test match.
Well, Mr. Shastri, firstly, thank you so much for your inputs and insights as always. Wonderful getting that from you. And yes, as you mentioned, India has made comebacks in the past and this is a good opportunity. But of course, it's the deficit of 56 runs that'll be playing on the mind. And once they overhaul that, that's when the pressure will start mounting on England. Mr. Shastri, hope to see you soon on day 4 as well.
Thanks a lot. And I will be joining you again tomorrow.
Right. So there we have it from the man himself. But there's so much to look forward to on day 3. And there's so much to look forward to as well on our YouTube channel where you can get content across different sports disciplines as well, where we have interviews of various sporting personalities. For now, though, we'd like to thank all our viewers to have joined us on Cricket and More. And we promise to bring you more action on day 4 as well. For the moment, it is over to the Indian batting who will be keen to overhaul this deficit and then pile on the runs to ensure that they put themselves in a position of strength in this 4th important test at Oval. Till the next time we meet, it is goodbye from all of us.